Good Sunday morning. Welcome to another edition of the Sideline Junkies, where we try to bring you all the local and the national sports information that you can need and that you want. Tonight starting us off, or to this morning starting off, to my right is, and I still got it wrong, is the boss BJ. To my left is the big guy KG. And it is me, the Midnight Rider, in the middle, trying to get it started. You up with me, KG? You up?
Yeah, I'm up, and you weren't available last night. I have to be a proud champion. I told I wasn't a proud champion, so I had to be a proud champion. I am your reigning and defending picks champion, as well as your fantasy football champion, the big guy KG. Please introduce me properly. Acknowledge me, please.
Picks champion win.
Oh, for WrestleManiacs.
Oh, okay.
I knew this was coming.
Okay.
I was asked, well, you got a belt. Why don't you display it? Because I'm a humble champion. I don't want to, I'm not better than anybody, but I'm better than you. So
I like that motto.
First and foremost, fellas, how y'all doing this morning?
I'm good, man. I'm just trying to get everything squared away. Drop some links in here, wake some people up, see if we get have some fun today.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good day of football, So, but let's talk about last night. Let's do a college football recap. Now we know for a fact last night was anticipated. And if I had them, I put on my hat and my sunglasses right now while I'm talking to grown people. Because Jay Norville and Colorado State wrote a check that they ass couldn't cash. They
almost did.
Yeah, they almost did.
They
dropped a nail biter, 43-35 to Colorado last night. Did you gentlemen stay up and watch the game?
I made it to like the third quarter, and then the good old couch put me in the sleeper hole and took me out. So I ended up waking up in the middle of the night catching the highlights.
Just think of the impact of what Deion Sanders has done there. Somebody posted on Facebook, y'all got us up at 2 a.m. watching the Colorado game. The Coach Prime effect, man. We'll get into that in a minute. But, yeah, 43-35, 2 OT. And Shedeur Sanders, 38-47, 348, 4 touchdowns and an interception. This kid right here, man, if he keeps throwing them numbers up like that, I don't know how they not give him. I mean, I don't know. I know everybody else is putting up numbers, the USC kid, but it's impressive, man, to say the least. It is. It definitely is. And he's going to get tested. Some couple games coming up that he's really going to get tested. It's not going to be a team running on adrenaline and running on media hype that they would never have gotten. There's going to be legit teams that get this every week. And what you're seeing with college game, it's not special to the USCs, the Oregons. It's not special to them. They get that all the time. So it's going to be interesting to see how the team performs when they're up against a team that media follows them around all day. And it's even. There is the hype train can come, but we got our own hype train type thing.
I gotta give a shout out to the Department of Commerce in Denver. I mean, for the first two of the first 3 weeks, they've either had College Game Day, the Fox pregame show. This week they had both. Last week they had both, I think. So if you're in Colorado and you're not making money, you're doing something wrong because the money just falling in your lap. You've had all these people in your town the last couple of weeks. Those bank accounts should be having a lot of zeros and a couple of commas, for sure.
I think they said that particular game brought in $18 million to the Colorado and the surrounding, and then the eyewear that Coach Prime wears, Blenders, 1.8 million, or was it 1.2 or 1.8 million in a day?
It was 1.2, but I wouldn't doubt that number's higher now.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's not a rock. You saw the Rock with him. You saw Stephen A. with him. Shannon Sharp with him. Everybody that's somebody. Um, Cameron was at the game. I mean, come on, man. Colorado is the place to be right now. It's the hot. They're rock stars walking right now, and that's something that those guys are going to have to get used to because even with the buzz at Jackson State, and can you imagine being Jackson State AD right now? And all that we did, Deion Sanders gone. But anyway, but even with the hype he brought with Jackson State, it was nothing like this. It was these kids. I think that's something that they're going to have. Yeah, you got Coach Prime, you got these people to kind of guide you through that. But it takes a minute to kind of get used to that type. Like, did y'all see College Game Day yesterday? You see all just those people and that hype and that stadium full and the buzz around town. You as a player, it takes a minute, and I think that you'll see them get more comfortable. I think they started out slow. I think Colorado State got lucky with them just kind of you get that home hype, and then it's always going to be a point where somebody pops the balloon and it deflates, and now you got to repair the balloon and build it back up. And I think that's what they were doing. And if they played that game next Sunday, it would be Colorado all day, probably by 20. I think Colorado State was just playing off straight adrenaline, straight, stadium full. I think I think that was their MO. And like, hey, we here too, but I think that'd be a totally different game a week later. I really do.
I think they mucked it up perfectly. I think the pin moment in the balloon was a Travis Hunter fumble return for a touchdown. But I think they woke him back up with the cheap shot on the sideline where that kid should have been kicked out of the ball game.
Absolutely.
Because the ball was nowhere close. And he went and yeah. On that, I don't know who the wide receivers are, but we might have to run a crack toss on him to wake him up. Catch him coming across the field not looking or something. But I think that changed the tempo of the game. I think Colorado State did enough to make the game emotional, and it got Colorado out of his focus and playing off adrenaline and not playing to their form. And I think also the fact that you get Travis Hunter on the ball game makes it a little bit easier for your passing game.
Big difference.
So I think that also helped them out a lot.
And then Shiloh Sanders, their leading receiver, Xavier Weaver, 12 targets, 9 receptions, 98 yards, and a touchdown. If you look at that box score with the receivers, he still spread the ball around. I mean, he had to now that Hunter's gone, but everybody still ate. And it's just like I already know what Deion is saying to them guys with Travis Hunter. They said 3 to 4 weeks he might be out. Is it saying 3 to 4 or 2 to 4?
I haven't heard wording.
I think it's 2 to 4 weeks that they're expecting him to be out. But like that's next man up. It's next man up. We talked about it last week. We setting the bar up here. The bar's still up here. Somebody got to go get that bar at receiver. Somebody got to go get that bar at cornerback now because your number one dual threat is out. Somebody got to go get it. Who won it? You know what I'm saying? Because this right here, this is not your normal college football team. You come on this stage for the next 2-3 weeks or however long Hunter's out, and you show your ass off. Guess where you going? You're getting drafted, baby. It's just that simple. This is a time for you to shine. Time for you to make a name for yourself. Deion got a whole bunch of clips out there. One of them is like, keep making a play. They don't know your name. Keep making a play. Keep making the tackle. Keep making the catch. They're not saying your name. They're not praising you. Keep making plays, and that's what you're going to see over the next couple of weeks.
I think the question becomes, how well does this team handle prosperity? That becomes the kicker next. Like, are they going to sit there and start believing their press clippings and not putting in the work? Even though I don't think Deion will let them get to this point. But people are human, and you get fame that you aren't used to.
Yes,
things can change and things can happen.
It's that entitlement of stepping on the field, but like who we are, and then the other team hitting you in the mouth, and you're like, what happened? And that's what I'm kind of waiting on. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. You're going to get, like I said, you're going to get down to these other teams that got 3 and 4 stars on the bench, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Just how they're going to react to it on the field and off the field.
It's funny because listening to the Midnight Rider, he said, "Are they going to keep looking at their press clippings?" I was waiting for him to say, "You're small and you're going to get smaller every week." I mean, I was waiting for the Friday Night Lights line to come in there. But I think Colorado, they if you took the over on their win total, their win over under for their wins this year was 30 or was 3.5. 3.5. They've already got 3.
Mm-hmm.
If you bet the over on that
in the house,
you should be good. You should be real good. So,
and the bet is next week.
Yeah,
next week is the bet because you got if you take them money line, they should be dogs to Oregon. And if they are, that money line will be juicy.
Like a grapefruit, baby, like a fresh grapefruit.
Wait, Oregon's next week? I thought USC was next week.
Who was it?
I thought USC was next week. Is it Oregon or USC?
It's one of the big dogs. It's one of those two.
Oh,
I'll go get it.
TV. That's going to be must-watch TV. I'm telling you, that's going to be a high-rated watch football game. That it just is. It really is. Good morning, Brian. How are you? Can we talk about my Terps for just a hot second?
Go off.
No, it ain't going off because they took care of business. They beat UVA 42-14. But I think it's been a problem with them for these slow starts. And do they need to be tased coming out the tunnel? You know what I'm saying? Does somebody need to, when they get on the field, does somebody need to let the bull out? They got the talent. They got, I would like to see better from
Probably
Tongo Vaialoa. I would like to see a little bit better from him. A little bit better. He had 342 at 19 of 30 for 1 TD. I would like to see him tighten it up. I would like to see that offense be a bit more dominant against a team like UVA. That I would like to see that. I would have liked to see this been, a 50-something to 7, a drumming with, Tongo Vaialoa having 3-4 touchdowns, but that wasn't it. And, it's lucky for them that it's early in the season. They can, fix a little, tighten it up, get the wrenches, but they have to figure out getting out of the gate. They have to, that's when you have to step on people. Like, it's just, they're going to fall in. I just feel like they're going to fall in one of these games and they're not going to be able to come from behind, and they're going to end up dropping to somebody that they shouldn't be dropping to. So my Terps got to tighten it up. I mean, we're not no Notre Dame or anything like that. We're not no Colorado, but they got to win these games. And for a second, I was a little bit worried because I wasn't liking what I was seeing. They got it together, but yeah, we got to tighten that up.
To stay on the Terps, first and foremost, like I do every week, I still got to give a big shout out to these kids at UVA, just for being there every week, showing up, giving effort and energy. And watching them play, you just saw a team that they start out, they can get started well, but they don't stay ahead because it's like they just lose it at a certain point. It's like they just don't have the energy anymore, and the game just falls apart for them. Like Maryland had 21 points in the fourth quarter against them, and that probably wouldn't have happened in a normal situation against a normal team. And then since BJ brought him up, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, Notre Dame Fighting Irish, I got to say I was not a big fan of the Sam Hartman pickup, but my reasoning was different. My reason is because we're not building. We're just putting another 1-year stopgap in our program. The kid has played tremendously well. He's given us way more than I ever thought he was going to give. But I just don't like the stopgap quarterback. I'd like for us to have a quarterback that's going to stick around for 2 years. This kid is on his 6th year anyway. I think he had a medical in the COVID year in the midst of his time in college, because he should be he's the same age as Justin Fields. So, but again, real quick, Notre Dame, another win last night. I think they got some big games coming up. So we want to see how it happens, man, how it plays out.
Notre Dame has they played against some cupcakes. You know, Navy, Tennessee State. Navy's a rivalry game. Tennessee State, Central Michigan yesterday, 41-17. The only team of note that they beat, and I don't really think it's of note, but that's NC State. They got Ohio State coming up at Notre Dame Stadium on the 23rd. I think that'll be the real test. Notre Dame's sitting at number 9 right now. I don't think if they keep winning, they can finish out undefeated. I don't think they get higher than number 5.
Oh, that's no. If they're undefeated with wins over Ohio State, Clemson, they're going to be in the top 4. They'll be in the hunt for the playoff, and you'll hear the same storyline that they don't deserve to be there. But this is the first year they've actually got a legit QB, so that's going to quell some of that talk about them not deserving to be there or getting blown out when they get there.
And it depends on how far Clemson side that slide. That win is not going to look good. You know, the Ohio State win, you know, it's definitely going to be something. But that Clemson, they don't tighten up. That's going to be just another game. It's not going to hold the same weight.
Well, what was that? What was it? A couple years ago, we beat Clemson regular season. We ended their streak, and we faced them again. Oh, well, y'all beat them because they can't count that because they beat them without Trevor Lawrence, and it was just so many excuses why we beat them. Then when Trevor Lawrence came back, of course they cheated, but if I'm not mistaken, I think we play them 3 times that year.
No, you can't play them 3 times.
No, it wasn't 3. It was 2. It was 2, and then we almost walked away with the victory the second time, and it was just like some fluke stuff happened. But we outplayed them the second time as well. But Trevor Lawrence is just too much. But we were dominating them and we're shutting him down, and all of a sudden he broke loose. It happens, but don't ever say that we shouldn't have beat somebody because they didn't have you had your people. Stop making up excuses. Please. Anyway, don't get me started. Don't look at me like that, man. Don't get me started. I'm not going to get started. I hate hearing that. It's always, well, so-and-so wasn't available. That's why y'all beat him. I don't give a damn if he was available or not. That's not my problem. You play to win the game. You play to win the game. It don't matter who's out, who's in. You still got to go out there and play the game. Let's move on. Are we ready to go to the NFL?
Yeah, I think we got all the college stuff out.
Yeah, we can dive into that.
One last thing, because you talked about Maryland. Maryland's got to get Hemby the football more. I don't know what happened or what he did Friday night. He came out, had about 5 carries, started the game out, and then they went to Littleton, who I like, but Littleton is the power back. He's not going to make people miss. And I think Hemby gives them the home run ball. And that's what they need. They need to give him 15 to 20 touches a ball game, whether it's through the pass game, through the run game. And Talia's got to show something. I mean, yeah, he was 19 whatever for 342, but I've yet to see a play where I'm like, that kid, he's gonna be special. He can play at the next level. I haven't had that moment yet.
Nope. Just running off of name power now.
Yeah.
NFL. Let's jump over to it. You are looking live. Jacksonville, Florida. The Chiefs visit the Jaguars. The line for this is 3.5 favorite of the Chiefs. They're giving up 3.5. Over under is 50.5. Let's go around the room. Let's start with the Midnight Rider. Go with the boss, BJ, and then we'll end it up with myself.
So I picked this game up because when I saw it, I was like, this is probably going to be one of the best games of the weekend. This should have been probably a Monday nighter, but with the Chiefs coming off of the Thursday night, they probably wouldn't want to put them in that situation. It's real simple. The happiest man in Kansas City is Travis Kelce. He's back. He gets Chris Jones back. So now you got this team in full strength. And the thing you got to worry about now is, I mean, I don't know what happened, but Calvin Ridley looks like a dog all of a sudden. Yeah, it was 1 week, but I mean, he looks like he is on a mission, and he's got easily his best quarterback with Trevor Lawrence, because Matt Ryan was at the end of his time when he was in Atlanta. But this is going to be a team in an interesting ball game. That 50.5 has no shot if these two teams come out and play their type of ball game. I think I'm gonna take the Chiefs to cover. I don't think they're gonna win it outright, but they'll cover that 3.5 because I see this game ending on a field goal. And I think it's gonna be like I'd call it 37-34.
Look, definitely a big game, right? The Jags are fighting to be one of those top tier teams in the AFC. And in order to be one of those top tier teams, you gotta go through Kansas City. You gotta be Kansas City. It's not Buffalo, it's not Cincinnati, it's not Baltimore. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. I think this is gonna be a really, really good game. And I think, the Jags at home, I just pulled it up on Bleacher Report, says light rain, upper 80s. I still think this is gonna be a track meet as far as the score. I think they're gonna take a dump on that 51.5. I really do. But I think that the reason why I picked the Chargers to win the division, because I think some of these teams are not scared of the Chiefs. I don't think they're scared of the Chiefs no more. And I think a lot of that has to do with Tyreek Hill not being there. I think they feel like they can control them a little bit more, even though you got Pat Mahomes back there. You get Kelce back. We get to see if he's 100% or not. I just like the Jags, man. They just overall, they're a really good team. It's hard to find a weakness, on that team. And I love the way Trevor Lawrence is playing. The Midnight Rider said it. Calvin Ridley just looks absolutely stupid. I'm going to take the Jags. I think they're going to trumps the over under that 51.5. And I would take the Jags and the points. I think it's going to be like a 37, 31, 38, 34 type game. I think it's going to be close, but I really think that Calvin Ridley factor is going to be too much for the Chiefs. And you get Jones back for the Chiefs, but we see how sloppy football was week 1. He got to get in game shape, so I don't expect too much noise from him. But I'll take the Jags in this one and the points.
Yeah, our brothers make some convincing arguments. Damn, who did I let me check my fantasy app here. Who did I take? I got no dogs in this fight, but it's Patrick Mahomes, man. Midnight Rider, you said something. Or BJ. Nobody's scared of Kansas City anymore, and you notice that they showed that they're human. They can be beat. In this game, I think I took the Chiefs. Yep, I took the Chiefs in this one. Because remember, the Chiefs are 0-1. The Chiefs are not going to start out 0-2. We're not getting that. That's not happening. You got one of the major weapons back. And the Chiefs are a team on offense. They can make an offense go with any piece that they have. They can look around the shop and be like, okay, I can put this part in here and this part in there. And all right, we're still good to go. Defense, you got Jones back. I think they're going to be a little bit more hungry this week. And I still think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to say 38-35 Chiefs. Next up.
What we got next?
You are looking live. The Ravens at the Bengals. The Bengals are 3.5-point favorites. 45.5 is the over-under. Midnight Rider, take it away.
Real quick, schedule note for the Buffaloes, Colorado. It's Oregon next, then USC, then Arizona State and Stanford. Just a quick update on that because I know we were looking for that. Ravens versus Bengals. The line is -3, over under 45.5. This game is interesting because Joe Cool didn't look like Joe Cool at all. He looked more like the Marlboro Man or something like that. I don't know. The Newport Man. But it was a struggle for him the whole time getting this game started and getting going. The Ravens don't have anybody in the secondary. They have 2/5 of their offensive line out. Their centers out, Linenbaum or Tenenbaum, and then they also have Staley missing. So then they're missing J.K. Dobbins. Then they're missing corners. Win this. I think the Ravens will make a valiant effort. And if you don't know about the kid Zay Flowers, watch out for Zay Flowers because the kid's an absolute animal. He might be rookie. I'm not gonna say rookie year because they're gonna get that to a quarterback. But he's gonna put some numbers up. He's gonna make it interesting. And he gives Baltimore their best receiving group they've had, period, since the inception of the program. And then the Bengals with their big three, Boyd, Higgins, and Chase. I mean, I just don't see how they're gonna stop that with their backup corners. They may be able to scheme a couple things up, but this is definitely Cincinnati's ball game. I do think it'll stay at the under though, because Baltimore plays ugly football. They don't let you run the score up too much on them. So I could see this as like a 24-17 type of ball game where we get about 41 points on the board. We don't go over that 45 and a half. That's definitely how I see this playing out.
I gotta go on the other side. I know the Ravens are limping in there, but I think Joe Burrow's still hurt. I really do. I think he's still hurt. I think the Ravens are going to get to him today. I don't think he's going to have a chance to really toss that ball around like you think he is. I think today you get to see a little bit the Ravens offense a little bit more in tune with Flowers and OBJ and a couple other people. I'm definitely taking the under on this one. I think this is when I see sloppy football, I'm going to the Ravens. If it's winning pretty and everything's working, it's the Bengals. But if it's sloppy and this is one of them games where Lamar Jackson makes one of them big runs and put them in field goal range, and all of a sudden it's a different ball game, or and that can happen like that. I think we're talking about 2017 Ravens. I think that's where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go the points in the Ravens. Give me the Ravens, baby.
It's crazy you say that because I say the same thing. So white man can't jump. Reference. I'd rather win ugly than lose pretty. It's no other way you can put it. And the Ravens have become the masters of winning ugly. I think this one, I don't think it's really that close. It's close. I'm saying 21-17 Ravens and give me the under on it because, and an extra stat, Lamar Jackson going to run for over 100 yards. He's going to run for over 100, but he's going to pass for at least 250.
I think so too. And I don't think it's because he's going to be – I think he's going to be running for his life. I think that's why he's going to run for over 100 yards. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be him running, him scrambling, the Bengals not being able to keep up with, and it's going to be that one back-breaking 47-yard run to the opponent inside the 38, and now they almost with I forgot the kicker's name. What's the kicker's name?
Justin Tucker. All
you gotta do is get to the 50. He can kick a damn field goal. So
it's true.
That's the crazy thing. That's what keeps the Ravens in a lot of games. All they got to do is get to the 40 damn near, and he can boot a field goal in. So, yeah.
And Xavier say he's taking the Ravens 21-3.
Jeez.
Shit.
I might need to throw him a couple dollars in my FanDuel account. We might have something there.
Hey, be able to run with it, man. Damn.
Oh man.
All right. Next up.
You do know there's a feature for correct score on FanDuel that you can bet the exact score.
Really?
Yeah. You can pay some money on the exact score.
All right, we need to get together. You need to walk me through this FanDuel stuff because I'm trying to learn it slowly but surely. But I get the parlays. I'm on those. I'm just so used to betting. Am I taking the over? I'm taking like this the way the joint we were using. You pick the winner, you pick if you were given the points or taking the points, and if you were taking the over under. And like I had one season where they kept records. I think I was like 110 and 10. I had like a 90% win rate. And I was like, and it would, tell you how much money, if you put $5 on each bet, how much money you would win every week. Like I was winning $15,000 every week. And I was like, y'all just saying that because y'all want me to go ahead and get the full version and pay for it and start putting money up. And then all of a sudden, I done got addicted to this shit. And I done put my car up and put my house up. My wife getting ready to leave me if I don't win this next bet. And then all of a sudden, I come through with $2 million. And I'm like, all right, we can pay everything off, but I'm going to bet like $1 million of it back. I was like, I don't want to be like that. I don't need that type of addiction in my life. I already got one addiction.
Sounds right.
I got one addiction. I don't need another one. All right. Moving over to the West Coast. SoFi Stadium. 49ers at the Rams. Niners are 7.5-point favorites. Over under is 45.5. Battle of the West Coast, baby. What you got, fellas?
It's I call it the Mike Shanahan Bowl. You got Kyle and then you got Sean McVay, man. And like we were talking in the opening, or not in the opening, but in the back part of this, that it's funny because it seems like the 49ers, when they make this a physical and a ground and pound type of thing, the Rams just fade late because they just don't have that makeup, that build. But they have a kid, even though Kupp, I think it might be out again this week. They had that kid in the Kyle. They drafted in the 4th round out of BYU, who had like 10 receptions and over 100 yards last week. They might have something. They may have another option where they can go. Then you have their backs, Kyron Williams from Notre Dame, and company, Cam Akers. So they're going to make it interesting. God, I think Stafford's back, but I just don't like them against the 49ers. But I'm going to take them to cover the 7. I think they'll be in the fight. I just don't think they will win the fight. And we'll get the over slightly. Like I think we'll get the over because it's like a 27-28 type of ball game, something like that. So we'll get over it, but it's gonna be a little bit of a battle getting over it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Ravens. The 49ers. I had wrote down 7, so the line must have changed. Hold on a second, buddy. I'm gonna take the 49ers in the 7. I'm definitely taking the under on the 45.5. But I think this is one of those games where, Aaron Donald has to be a monster, has to cause some havoc, turnover, a couple turns, give the Rams short field to work with, and not let the 49ers completely control the game and let Shanahan get in his bag on offense. Y'all know I love me some Kyle Shanahan, baby. I love him. But I think Kyle Shanahan has McVay beat him? Or
Once or twice.
It's like once or twice. Shanahan's leading that series. I think that continues today. I'm with the Midnight Ride. I think this is going to be a fight. This could be one of those games where, it's 17-20, 49ers leading, Aaron Donald sack fumble, and, they get the ball back. But I think even in that scenario, the 49ers have enough on offense to march down the field and score when they want to on the Rams. I really do. So I'm going to take the Rams in the 7 points. I'm going to say no, I'm going to say over. I'm going to say over the 45.5. I think this is going to be a 28-24 type ball game, or one of those 30-31 late where the score looks like the 49ers did their thing all game, but it's kind of one of them late garbage touchdown things. I think give me 30-21 49ers.
That's a bold prediction. If I had to pick it, 49ers win this, and they're going to cover the 7. 45.5. Yeah, we can go ahead and say over on that. Let's say over. I'm going to say 30-27. to 21. 49ers. I think if you don't know this by now, I doubt you'll ever know it. Brock Purdy has a place in this league. And even coming off a UCL injury, the cat still tossing that rock. You still got McCaffrey. Brandon Ayuk went off last week. And I was, my fantasy kept popping up. Brandon Ayuk scores a touchdown for Midnight Riders. I'm like, I don't have Brandon Ayuk. I don't have him this season. Why are you telling me I scored a touchdown? I'm getting all happy. Like, did I pick him up by accident? No, it wasn't me. For some reason, it was still tracking last season's players. But the 49ers defense, I think, is strong enough to hold the Rams offense in place. But the Rams defense, anytime Geno Smith dropped back, he saw Aaron Donald come and he yelled out, "Oh God." That man saw his life flash before his eyes. That's what Brock Purdy has to worry about. And how do you neutralize somebody so aggressive as Aaron Donald, who's not trying to be aggressive? Aaron Donald is just that guy. And how do you neutralize that? West Coast offense. 1-2, drop it. 1-2-3, screen pass. You kind of get them off balance with that. But it's Aaron Donald we talking about. This is the best defensive player in the league. And speaking of Aaron Donald, let me ask y'all a quick question. If you had a choice taking Aaron Donald or Lawrence Taylor, who you taking?
Lawrence Taylor.
We're not lining the field because I don't want them making no mistakes in the pregame. But yeah, I'm taking LT.
Okay. All right, because I feel that Aaron Donald is not more dominant, but almost just as dominant as LT was, because he can change a game from anywhere on that line. So just asking.
He can. But when you say Lawrence Taylor, it's only when you say who you pick against Lawrence Taylor or before, it's only like maybe two names that go above LT. So Aaron Donald, maybe at the end of his career he might be, but not right now. Not right now, baby. LT. You could have made a hypothetical question and we didn't know the second person. I just been like LT.
We'll talk about it.
I'm sorry, dog. BJ's son hand popped in the screen. All I could think of was put it on my strong hand. Put it on my strong hand. Oh God. I'm sorry.
Xavier said he's taking the 49ers 17-7. So, but what did I say? I said 30-21. Give me the over on it, and they will cover. Next up, the Monday night game, which is the Browns versus the Steelers. And where's that being played at?
I think it should be in Pittsburgh.
I think so. And our line for that is the Browns are 2.5-point favorites. Over under is 38.5. Midnight Rider.
So this game, I'm gonna try not to do this voice because there's a voice that pops up whenever I talk about Kenny Pickett. I'm gonna try not to go into it. I apologize in advance if it happens. But Pittsburgh just looked like they got outmanned last week. And you speaking about Brandon Ayuk, he has a block on that 55 or 65-yard run from McCaffrey where he blows up the safety, and then he goes down the field, and then I think Ray McLeod took Patrick Peterson out. Not the performance I was expecting from the Steelers. When I saw them in the preseason, I thought they were clicking on all cylinders, and I thought they were going to come out and give San Fran everything they wanted and then some. And then when I looked at them last week during the game, they just looked flat. They didn't look like they had anything. I don't know if it was Kenny Pickett, if it was someone with Najee, but they just couldn't get it going. And when I watched Cleveland last week against Cincinnati, and my man Myles Garrett is up there working on his crossover before he rushed, and then the fact that they allowed them to get Zadarius on the outside too. So now you got Zadarius and Myles Garrett. You got two guys that can get you 13, 14 sacks in explosive fashion and form. And it looks like we're starting to get a peek at Deshaun Watson pre-massage powers. So this might be like, I think Cleveland wins this. I think Cleveland is definitely taking the 2.5. I think they're gonna win by more than that. And I think we'll still hit the under because it's a AFC North battle of two teams going back and forth. But I like Cleveland because I think Cleveland's being smart now. I think Cleveland's gonna be happy with a little Chubb in their life and just keep pounding the football and make it. Not make it interesting, but let them know that they're there and they're gonna be very physical with you. The only thing that worries me is there's some late news on Amari Cooper. I don't know if he's in or out yet. I got to find that out. Hopefully one of these trackers will let us know something for sure. But that's the only thing. But yeah, I got Browns and I got under the 38.5.
You smell that? This game stink. They're 38.5. Look, the Steelers on offense look absolutely awful last week. That's one of those performances you can't even gauge defense because the offense was so bad. You can't even tell what you have on defense. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's Pickett. I don't know what it is. It kind of reminds me of another team we'll get to later. It's just like you come out after practice and spring training and you come out and it's the same thing from last year. Same as that, y'all can't move the ball. They got to figure out what's going on quick, fast, in a hurry, or this is going to be Mike Tomlin's first losing season right here. Real quick, I like what I saw with the Browns and the Bengals last week. I like what I saw with Garrett, their front seven. Man, with Myles Garrett, if you have an average unit front seven, he takes them to an A-. He's that good. He's that dominant. And I don't expect it to let up today. Kenny Pickett is going to be under fire today. And this is going to be a 24-3 Browns win.
Well, I talked earlier about my addiction, and I just got my fix. So I'm good. I'm clear-headed. And we talked about this game stinks. BJ, you stole my thunder with that because I think this would make Kevin Sheehan's smell test. This should be a damn pick 'em. I don't know. I don't believe in the Browns right now because their defense is vicious. I love the Browns defense. It's the offense I'm worried about. So I'm not 100% on board with them. Pittsburgh, I don't think this is going to be Mike Tomlin's first losing season. I think they'll still find a way to win 9 games. Do like they did last season and win a couple of games late. So
I can't remember what 49er it was that played last week, but he said it. I don't know if he has a podcast or whatever, but he said what I've always said about teams with really good defense and the offenses. The defense get tired after a while. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. But he was on defense, and he was like, we just wanted them to move the ball. We kept having to come back, back out on the field, back out on the field, back. They were tired because guess what? Not only does the 49er he might have played offense. I'm sorry. The defense got to keep coming up, but now the offensive guys got to keep coming out, back on the field, back on the field, back on the field. So he was at a point where he's like, we just wanted them to move the ball and get a couple first down. They kept going 3 and out. He was on offense. It might have been the receiver that had the big game last week. I can't remember. Ayuk. It might have been Ayuk. So that's just interesting to hear it from an offensive player side. Ooh, the Steelers. Oh, yeah?
And Xavier say taking the Steelers 21-17. Let me check back at this line because let me see. It's 38.5. I'm gonna go with the under on this one. I think this is gonna be your classic shootout, 20-17 Steelers. Last second field goal. It's gonna be back and forth, up and down. But give me the Steelers 20-17.
You said this game should be a pick 'em. That line is telling you it's a pick 'em.
No, if it's under 3,
if it's under 3, it's a pick 'em. Because this is the road team getting 2.5.
Yeah,
so, yeah. Normally the home team gets 3 because it's And if I'm reading this wrong, and you a Vegas shark, tell me I'm wrong. But I thought the fact that it's 2.5 on the road team, under 3 on the road team, they think it's kind of a pick 'em type of ball game.
See, The thing is, I learned about lines reading the Washington Post back in the day. And you looked at all the lines, and when they had pick 'em, you know it's going to be a trash game. That's not a game that's going to be on TV. And 9 times 10, it was a boring game. It's a game that was it didn't pass the smell test. So, and to have this game on Monday night, I'm like, yeah, it's a divisional game, but you could have put something else on Monday night. You could have done something. Like I'd have preferred to see Lions Seahawks on Monday night than this. And I'm being honest. All right. Moving right along. This one right here. Ooh. Ooh, you are looking live. Orchard Park, New York. Formerly known as Rich Stadium. What's y'all stadium called now? What is it? New Era Stadium?
Second in the AFC wild card 2024 season over. That's what it's called.
Well, you're looking live at that. Raiders visit the Bills. Bills are 8-point favorites. 47 is the over-under. Fellas, I keep saying a score in my head, and I don't want to say it, but go ahead. Go. Just go.
I think this is a game that I think this is a get-right game for the Buffalo Bills. I just don't like anything I've seen from the Raiders. They like to run it with Josh Jacobs. Devontae Adams gives you something. I think they really miss Waller for what he can do. And then the other part about the other problem is they got a dumbass as a head coach who shouldn't be a head coach. So I think he will cost them ball games. And I think this is a ball game where just the fact that Josh McDaniels is their head coach is reason enough for them to lose the ball game. I think the Bills come out, get a little better. I think they figure out a way to work Kincaid and Dalton in their passing game. Dawson Knox. I think they get something with those two, and then that opens up things for James Cook. I actually think James Cook gives you 100 yards a day. The only thing that scares me from the Buffalo side is Josh Allen doing Josh Allen things. Last week, I don't know, man. I mean, you can clearly go out of bounds, but you want to be a hero. And every time a hero comes along, I mean, goodness gracious, he took that hit on the sideline that he didn't need to take. And I guess yesterday during college football, Jordan Travis must have been watching Josh Allen highlights because he took a hit that he didn't deserve to take in the Florida State game. But Josh Allen has to know that he's the reason and he's the thing that makes this thing work. And he has to be healthy, or he's going to fall off like a running back. He's going to get to like year 8, year 10, and you're going to try to figure out, just like you see Russ right now, he's going to be trying to figure out why you don't have it no more. And it's from all those big hits you took early in your career. But, yeah, that's how I see this right now.
I'm going to take the under on this game. And I think this is a Bills medicine game. That ginger ale crackers sitting at home watching Price is Right. That's what the Bills. This is what the Raiders are for the Bills today, and it has to be for the Bills if they want to keep pace. Because I made my prediction that I thought my Bills would win the AFC East, and I'm slowly fading away from that and moving towards the Dolphins. But this has to be a game. This has to be one of those, 28-14 games, 31-14, 31-17 type games, because they just did not look good. And it all started with Josh Allen. It starts and ends with Josh Allen. And I don't know why he hasn't kicked. I think this is year 6 for him? I just don't understand. Yeah. I don't understand why he hasn't kicked this John Wayne big bad cowboy shit. He did it early in his career, and I get it. You're young, but you're established now. You got your big contract. You're one of the top 10 paid highest QBs for a reason. He can make plays. He has, I say he probably has the strongest arm in the league, and it's 1A is Patrick Mahomes. But if he goes down, it's over. The season's over for Buffalo. And Sean McDermott mouthed something to him. Use your head, be smart. And Michael Irvin killed Sean McDermott for that. And I think Michael Irvin is absolutely wrong on this because if you watch Buffalo, okay, you watch how bad that offense, the Jets showed you how bad that offense is because the Jets got a very good front seven. They showed you how bad that offensive line is. He's going to take hits just because of that. He's going to take them blindside hits. He's going to take hits from the offensive line breaking down. It's plays in that game, the Jets, where he's dropping back on the third foot. The guards in the center are already being pushed back. He's already scrambling to the right. So you're going to take hits just off the offensive line being bad alone. So when you're running, you don't need to hurdle everybody. You don't need to lower your shoulder. You don't need to juke and get to 2 minutes. You got to live to fight another down, another distance. You're going to get another chance. I am extremely worried about this Buffalo team. I know it's on a game 2, but what worries me is they carried over the same stagnant, stale-ass offense that they ended last year with, where it just seems like once Brian Daboll left, it was just like, we don't know what to do anymore. I'm going to call this play, and hopefully Josh Allen scrambles around and finds somebody open. It's just like it's no rhyme or reason to the Bills offense right now. You can't say they're trying to establish Cook. You can't say they're trying to kill you with Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. You can't say they're trying to eat you up with Diggs. You can't say any of that. You don't know what the fuck they're doing on offense. You don't know. It's just like, what are y'all doing? Are we playing the read option on? What are we doing? What are we doing? And then, like I say this all the time: 3 and out, 3 plays, this, that, out. Guess who got to keep coming back on the field? They're gonna get wore down eventually. I don't care how decent this defense is, how good Gregory Rousseau is, because he's a monster. I love Greg Rousseau, baby. I love him. And Matt Milano had a big interception. I think that secondary got some talent back there. Besides Micah Hyde's back still hurting. That's kind of getting old. But yeah, this is a game. I hate to say it, game 2. The Bills have to beat the Raiders. The Bills have to beat the Raiders. They have to beat these teams because when you play the Dolphins later on and you play this Patriots team that I watch, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's something over there with the Patriots. There's something over there with the Patriots that scares you a little bit. If you're not even just an AFC East person, if you play them, because they look like they got a really good team if Mac Jones can get get the offense going. They have to win this game, man. I'm gonna take the 8.5. I'm gonna take the under. I think they're gonna be right under the under. I think they're gonna be right at the under, right at 47 or right under it. I think it's gonna be a 28-10 type, 31-10 type game. I don't see the Raiders putting up too many points on the Bills. I'm hoping they can get some. The defense wasn't the problem last week. It was Josh Allen and his multiple turnovers. So I think this is the remedy game this week. I'll take it 28-10.
Oh man, my man Easy said, didn't we talk right before the season about how Josh trusts that arm too much?
He trusts his feet too much too.
Yeah, and
too much.
I think I keep saying a score in my head, but what you said about Josh Allen. Josh Allen is your Reggie Jackson. He is the straw that stirs the drink in Buffalo. The team doesn't move unless he's stirring the drink. They don't do anything without him. If what's his name? James Cook. He had a pretty couple decent runs against the Jets. Get him started early. Let him work into a lather. And then once you think he's gonna have Josh pull it and go out the back door, you gotta play mind games. But I said this in our group chat, and I think this is something that Buffalo needs to do. You need another running back. To be quite honest, get Kareem Hunt in there for a year. He's great out the backfield. You can pass to him out the backfield. It's something else. It's another weapon. I need Diggs to be Diggs. I need him. I don't need you pouting on the sidelines. Yeah, it's rough, but I don't need you pouting on the sidelines. You're a leader. You're a captain. The ebb and flow goes with you. I don't need Josh Allen playing hero ball. You know, he don't need to dive over 2 defenders and get helicoptered. If this is the Super Bowl and you're 38 years old trying to win your first Super Bowl, okay, John Elway, do your thing. Go get helicoptered. Do it. But it's not. It was week 1, and you were playing like this is like the last game of your career. No, it's not. As for the Raiders, bringing back Josh Jacobs was good, but Josh Jacobs ain't gonna give you what he gave you the last 2 years. I'm sorry, he's not.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
He's not.
Why?
Because he was falling off. He was actually falling off at the end of last season. Trust me, I watched him in fantasy. He had a couple good games, and all of a sudden he disappeared for like 3 weeks.
So you're saying that paying a running back on a second contract may not be a good thing because the running back's falling off?
Paying some running backs on a second contract may not be a good idea. You have to differentiate which running back you're going to pay. Now, Adrian Peterson, you take Adrian Peterson, you pay him until the end of time, you know, and go back a little even further. You look at a Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders probably could have did it until he was in his 30s, in his mid 30s. And then you on the other hand, who was Barry's contemporary during that time? Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith should have hung it up after he left Dallas. He said that, but you know, you got to look at that. You got to judge the running back. You can't. It's not 100% all the way true for every running back, but some running backs. I think Josh Jacobs falls into that category. That's just my opinion. I'm sorry. He's my guy. I didn't get him in fantasy this year. I had him in fantasy the last 2 years, but I understand. But the Raiders and Jimmy G, this is not even going to be close. For those that like to play the pick 3, go play 5-1-3 dollar straight dollar box and combinated, because this is going to be 51-3 Buffalo. And that's just I don't know. I keep seeing it, and I don't know who's telling me this, but I feel it in my spirit. 51-3. Xavier said it's going to be a bloodbath. 28-3. Who you got, Xavier? Scooter, come on, pull it up.
You had it.
There you go. He said, "Oh, dang, I did have it. It just, I had to fix it. I'm gonna have to really fix this computer." The Jets D is fired. The Raiders are no Jets D. Dumb Josh Allen is benched for smart Josh Allen. Bills win by 3 TDs.
Raiders
Can I make a bold statement here? A bold prediction?
Sure. And Xavier say he taking the Bills.
This isn't the Buffalo Bills organization of old. If we keep seeing problems with Stephon Diggs, expect for him to be gone at the trade deadline. Because the way I look at it, as good as he is, they can still win without him. It might be actually an addition by subtraction with Diggs. He's not blowing you off over the top. He's a great route runner. He's not blowing you out of the top, out of the water. You got some guys on there that can do that, but you can't because you got to feed his ego and feed him the ball. I think if they keep having issues with Diggs and you keep hearing these grumblings, I would not be surprised if they move him during the trade deadline. I wouldn't be surprised.
That, my good sir, is very, very bold.
I don't know if I gave my pick, but I'm taking the Bills, and I'm taking the over 48.5. I don't know if I said it on record, but
well, it's there now. And I'm taking, of course, I'm saying 51-3. I'm taking the points over under. I'm taking the over. I'm taking it all. And finally, we come to Denver, Colorado, Invesco Field at Mile High. The Washington Commanders versus the Denver Broncos. The Broncos come into this game 3.5-point favorites. Over under is 38.5. Midnight Rider, take it away.
Midnight Rider, do you want me to go first, or y'all can hit it?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you can go ahead and take the lead off on this one.
Change shape. I can't keep my AirPod in, but I'm gonna hit this Commanders Broncos game the right way from the back, baby. Now, all right. Look, you got the Commanders going into. Is it still called Mile High?
I think it's
at Mile High.
Okay. Broncos are what, 3.5-point? Is it still 3.5? 38.5?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm taking the Commanders on this one. I just the Broncos offense is another mystery. I don't know what's going on with Russ. And, I think Sean Payton and Russ will probably get on the same page eventually. But I think that Commanders defense goes into Denver and takes care of them where, they're going to win the game for them. I really think it is. I'm hoping that we see a better Commanders offense, better cadence, better rhythm coming up, in what do they play? 4:00 today?
Yeah. 4:25.
4:25. I'm hoping it's a little bit better. I just really think if Sam Howell can get going, it's a win for the Commanders. I just really, they can get going and don't give the ball to Antonio Gibson. I'm just saying, let Brian Robinson Jr. get 95% of it. I would not, Antonio Gibson would be so far in my doghouse, it wouldn't even be funny. But I'm taking the Commanders today. I'm gonna say it's gonna be one of them ugly, 21-17 wins. So yeah, give me the under. And I think the Broncos. Broncos not gonna cover that 3.5. Give me 21-17 Commanders. I think it's going to be another. You're just kind of scratching your head, worried about the Commanders' offense. I think Montez Sweat and that D-line comes out there and kind of controls the game and keeps the field position favorable for the Commanders.
Because you ain't got to worry about if you're taking Washington at 3.5, then you're good off the break because Denver's got winning by 4 or more for that not to be a W for you. So,
but I thought that it worked both ways. If you take the 3.5 and they lost by 4 or more, you would lose.
I meant you're right. I'm sorry. I misheard what you said. I apologize.
Yeah,
that's my fault.
Because I was confused for a second too. I'm like, does that work? Yeah.
No, you're right. You're right. Okay. I was looking at something else.
Okay.
I had something else on my mind. And all right, so Washington, Denver.
Was it coming into Denver?
Oh, so we have the defensive line supposed to be. They should be hunting today. This is a game where I feel like Chase Young should make some impact. I'm not asking for him to do a whole lot. I'm asking for him to make a play or two here and there. I need Montez to make a play. I need this D-line to show why we're paying them top money across the board and why this should be a feared four-man front or a feared 5-man front at some point in the season. The things that scare me about Denver is Javonte Williams, kid out of UNC. He's a dog. He can get it. And if one more week gives him another week away from the injury that he sustained last year. So he's just putting good weeks on top of good weeks. I think he's a threat. And that's the part that scares me sometimes with this front. They can get gashed in the run game. They did a decent job last week against Arizona. But we got to see them do it again. I like the secondary. I think the secondary for the Washington Commanders gave up 2 picks that they should have had. Percy Butler should have had one, and the young man Forbes should have had one last week. Those are situations where we gotta take those turnovers because our offense is showing you that they're not efficient in getting done what they gotta get done. And I think Eric fell in love a little too much with the pass game early. I know people have been crying for a little bit more motion, some more jet sweep action and stuff like that. But I mean, if you paid attention last week, they did some subtle movements, getting motion the tight end from the slot into a stack position to kind of dictate coverage or figure out what coverage is. So they've been doing stuff. It's just been more subtle than the fancy jet sweep or the motion around on the loop, all that stuff. So I don't worry about them getting to that yet. Run game, they got to be more effective blocking. I would love to see Chris Paul, even at left guard a little bit. But all in all, I think Howell comes back. I think Logan Thomas gets a touchdown today. And I got Washington covering. And I have this going under. But it's not going to be under by much. So I see like a 2017 type of ball game in this scenario, or 13-20 type of deal where something happens, you get a play because Jerry Judy's back. But I think overall this team does enough to win this ball game.
This is a litmus test of the season. And to those of the fan base that if Howell comes out and he starts slow and you say, well, bench him for Brissett, I need you to turn your TVs off. Take all your Redskins / football team / Commanders gear, put it all in the trash bag. Go set it on the curb because you are no longer a fan. We don't want you here. It's like Novocaine. Give it a chance to work. This is only this kid's third game in the NFL. Third. And you want him to perform miracles. You want him to turn water into wine. It's not going to happen yet. It's not going to happen. He's not going to be Kirk Cousins. He's not going to be RG3. He's not going to be Alex Smith. He's not going to be anybody. All he can be is Sam Howell. Offensively, I think Brian Robinson has to get – I understand running back by committee, but I think Brian Robinson has to get between 15 and 20 touches in this game. I think you have to control the game. Take the pressure off of Sam Howell on the offense. Take the pressure off him. He doesn't have to pass as much because that run game got to start early. First drive, we got to set a statement. We got to set a tone. You got to go out there. Can't be 3 and out. You got to have a long 12, 13 play drive, but it has to produce 7, not 3. I'm talking moving down the field methodically, and then you get inside the 5. And either you go read option and Sam Howell takes it in, or you just go smash mouth and let one of the running backs take it in. Boom. That's that. Defensively, I agree with Scooter. I can't wait to see what Chase does. I can't wait.
Is Chase back today?
Yes, he's coming back today. He's been cleared. And Scooter brought up a good thing. If those ends over pursue, Russ could run for a lot of yards, and that's the thing. I think this is where Jamin Davis comes in. He's got to be the babysitter. He has to be the quote unquote proverbial Derek Brooks on Michael Vick. You have to, be able to run with that and be able to keep up with him. The defense has to get after Russ, have to get him in trouble early, because I just feel this is going to be the game where all of a sudden everything clicks for Russ. He's just going to be on. He's going to be on for the first half, and it's going to look like. And thing is, if I'm not mistaken, Russ was like 17 or 19 in the first half last week for like 200 some yards, but it was empty yards. It was just it was like a light beer. It was just empty calories, And I think that's what's going to happen. But defensively, I think our secondary is going to hold their receivers and tight ends and everything in check. It's going to be a lot of 3 and outs for Denver, but we got to capitalize off that. We got to put points up every 3 and out. We got to put up some type of points. Just my opinion. Scooter also say Surtain will cover Terry every play. Look for the short passing game with Samuel and Dotson. That's what I'm hoping for. Because Terry gonna break one. He gonna get one. He gonna get one, and it's gonna be a big one when he gets it. Xavier say he's not gonna be Colt McCoy, but I don't really want Sam Howell to be Colt McCoy, then, kid. Just being honest. I love Colt, but I don't want him to be Colt McCoy. For the Broncos, defensively, I don't think they're strong enough in the front 7 to really contain Brian Robinson. That's why I say he has to get at least 15 to 20 touches. He has to get the bulk. I mean, this is a game where you got to tell Antonio Gibson, I'm going to split you out wide a lot. You know, you're not even going to be a decoy. I'm going to use you in the passing game. You're going to be split out wide a lot. And Brian Robinson, you're going to be the workhorse. You got to be the guy that's doing it because that front 7 can't hold you. And I'm talking him stepping. He takes the handoff. He falls forward. He got 7 yards. He's falling in the 7 yards easy. So I think this is going to be a decisive win. I think Washington starts off 2-0 for the first time since 2011. They win this one 21-10. So Denver won't cover and give me the under on it. Xavier says Commanders 21-7. Ross says Jahan could have a huge game. They also need to run the ball a lot more than they did last week. We all on the same page. We are all on the same page. After we finish this, I'm going to get on the call with Eric Bieniemy and tell him, hey, we all on the same page. Smash mouth football. You got to play old school NFC East football, black and blue. You have to beat them into submission. And I think that's what they need to do. They need to beat Denver into submission early. And Scooter says, I like the Commanders 24-20. So we've come to the end of our show. Fellas, any final words before we get out of here and go watch the pregame shows?
Only thing I got is that Seahawks Lions game is going to be pretty interesting. Want to see if the Lions were just setting us up last week with the way they used David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, and if Gibbs is going to have a breakout day today, they give us a little bit more of that kid running the football because if you saw the couple of runs he had, he was explosive. He was probably one of the fastest people on the field. They just had to use him a little bit more and trust him a little bit more. So hopefully that is the case, and you actually see this kid break out today. And then the other game is the Packers and the Falcons. I don't know. I think Love is going to be special, man. I think he's figured something out, and the fact that he got to sit makes it easier for him to come in and be effective and make some plays. His receivers just have to catch the football for him.
Nothing for me, man. I'm just kind of on the edge of my seat, waiting to see how Josh Allen and the Bills respond, and if they can kind of right the ship. And always looking for AFC East loss. So if the Patriots can beat the Dolphins some type of way to help, gain some ground, I'm always for that. But I'm actually looking forward to the Chiefs-Jags game. I really want to see that. I want to see that. I think that's really going to be a really, really good game. So set your fantasy lineups. Don't forget to do that. Make your picks if you're in the Pick'ems, ESPN Pick'em. And let's go. Week 2.
Yeah, because if you don't make your picks, these two guys right here on my left, those two guys will give you shit if you don't make your picks. And you like, well, I made my picks, it didn't save, which it didn't.
Everybody else picks save except yours.
Okay, so what you telling me is I went from first place with like a 9-game lead over everybody to all of a sudden go into 4th place and never could recover. Come on, son. You think I would do that on purpose?
You were up by 9 games.
I was up by 9 games at that time. I had a 9-game lead on everybody.
We're gonna have to screenshot every week now. Every week. I want it screenshotted every week now.
Man. So how big was that fish you caught when you went fishing?
It was like this big. That big.
Come on, man. I don't gotta take the liberties like that. Don't do me like that, man. Don't do me like that. You know I wouldn't do y'all like that. Don't do me like that.
9 games. Wow.
I was up 9 games. Scooter says Romeo Dobbs season. What's the receiver for Green Bay? Christian
Watson.
He is, I heard, doubtful. I heard he was out. I'm not sure. Check your lineups if you got him. I dropped him, but check your lineups if you got him. And anybody that's in our Sideline Junkies Fantasy League, if you would like to, I have Jonathan Taylor. If you would like Jonathan Taylor, holler at me.
Please don't talk about fantasy. I had Kirk Cousins on the bench and he dropped 50. Please do not talk to me about fantasy. But if anybody in the league want to make a play for Josh Allen, you got something good, talk to me.
I'll say this. We've been doing this fantasy league for what? I think this is year 4. And this is the first time every season is pretty much the same. I play the Boss BJ first week, Dario the second week. And I've never beat the Boss BJ. I've never started 1-0 before. I've never started 1-0. I always lose to the Boss BJ every first week. Dario is hit or miss because sometimes Dario, I'll have him beaten, then all of a sudden he come out and just beat the dog, you know what, out of me. But I also have a chance to go 2-0 for the first time since like 2019. But oh shit, this will be the first time ever in this league. I haven't been 2-0 in quite some time. But still, I mean, last season, I think I got up to 7-1 before I lost another game. So, you know, hey, that's what champions do. And to the Boss BJ, let me tell you this. I got Buffalo picked to win the Super Bowl this year. My brother, you're going to have some stumbles. You got to get your legs under you. Don't give up on this team. Don't give up on this team. This team is going to come together at the right time. You don't want to come together in weeks 1 through 4. You want to win. You want to come out of that 3-1, 2-2, whatever. But you don't want to come together and be 4-0. And then you go into the next part of the season and then you're 0-4. Now you're 4-4. And then all of a sudden you can't win in November, December, and January. And then, you know, you don't want to think it's your year early. Because you're going to be feeling like some other fan bases. So you don't want that.
I know we got to get out of here, but I said last week when we were making our picks, I said that this team had to face adversity early. This team couldn't come out the gate 5-1, 6-1, and because they go on cruise control, they can't do that. They need to know that it's not right now. Okay, my only issue is that the not right now is the same shit from last year. So you telling me, that's what I'm saying, you went through all your training camp and OTAs and nobody corrected the issues from last year. That's what worries me. And that's why I keep saying that if I am Brandon Beane, for me, Sean McDermott has to be on the hot seat, because if you can't adjust and if you can't coach with the big boys when it's time, because now the Jets head coach is outmaster him on the chessboard. If you pay attention, he's getting out coached. He's 2 steps behind. That's the other issue besides Josh Allen is Sean McDermott getting out coached. Remember, Leslie Frazier's not there this year, so he's calling the defense. Pay attention to that. For me, if Sean McDermott doesn't get past a certain point this year, I cut him. I let him go. You have to bring somebody in here that can take this team to the next level. make adjustments on the fly. We talk about Ron Rivera here all the time, making adjustments late into the season that should have been done week 3, week 4, making them week 11, week 13. It's too late now. So,
Ross says, in my money league, I was up 133-114. Dude had the Jets defense and special teams. I lost 134-33. 133.
ouch.
That hurts. Scooter says, is Skip Hicks still available in the league? Now I got him on my bench. He's starting next week. I'm keeping Skip Hicks. You can't have him. And that's crazy you say that because I thought about Skip Hicks early this week.
Maybe
I really did.
Matt Jones or Ryan Terrain.
Or Robert Kelly. Every time he had a positive run, I would break out. It seems like you're ready. Never mind. It was fun.
I thought I didn't think that's what you broke out, and I thought you was like, I got to the bathroom, I got pee. I thought that's what
I want to piss on you. All right. Well, that's all the time we got for today, man. Enjoy your day of football. I guess if the timing's right, after the Washington Denver game, we'll try to do like we did last week, come back for 30 minutes, talk about the game in full, and go from there. But until then, we'll see you guys in the group. If you're not following us on Twitter, follow us on Twitter. If you're following us, just follow us on all the social medias, because I'm myself, the boss BJ. We got some videos we need to put out, and please keep watch, because I'm gonna keep doing this Hall of Fame thing and see what you guys think. I just try to take the names out of it because I don't want no bias. So think about that. But until Scooter said, Amanda's on the way to victory. Yeah, let's go. I'm geeked. I'm about to get my stuff on and get ready. But until later on, for the Midnight Rider, the boss BJ, I'm the big guy, KG, world champion, fantasy football champion, all that good stuff. I had 9-game lead last season.
Rumor has it you have a 9-game lead right now as we speak.
Oh, no. I'm 1 game above 500. I ain't even gonna tell you that. I had a terrible week last week. But for the fellas, I'm the big guy, KG. We don't do no overtime, y'all. We are out of here.